morning. I am Nancy Olson, a member of the Standing Committee, the elected board here at First Church. We're glad that you are with us either online or in person here in our magnificent sanctuary. I would like to welcome any visitors who are with us this morning. We particularly welcome our guests from the Men's Lectures panel, which will be happening after the service today at 1 p.m. in the auditorium and on Zoom. We're happy to have with us at that time activists Jennifer Love Williams and Angelia Jefferson, as well as the Reverend Karen Mooney and the Reverend Jason Leiden, who are with us now. Please plan to join this powerful discussion on the intersection of faith and the movement for prison abolition. To register for the Zoom, please go to menslectures.org. To learn more about First Church Boston or Unitarian Universalism, please visit the firstchurchboston.org website or speak to Reverend Stephanie or me during the coffee hour, which immediately follows the service. We invite you to join us for friendship and refreshments. I would like to highlight some announcements in your order of service. A lot is happening these days. We are welcoming new members who are joining our church today. Next Sunday, April 28th, is the installation of Reverend Dr. Stephanie May as the 24th minister at First Church Boston. You are invited to join us in celebrating this significant event in the life of the church. Please let us know if you're planning to attend so that we can better plan the refreshments. You can RSVP to the office, and there's also an RSVP in the order of service. Also, we are in the midst of our annual pledge campaign. Thank you to those of you who have already pledged. If you have not yet pledged, please do so this month. This is a crucial part of our planning for the future. Please see the order of service and the e-news for more detail on these and other upcoming events. Thank you again for being here today. Let our service now begin.
Welcome to our Earth Day service and exploration of the emotion of awe. I want to thank my colleague in this year's men's lecture, Reverend Jason Leiden, for joining me and sharing these opening words.
Welcome to this hour of worship, of remembering that we are but one small part of something so much larger than any one of us, than all of us.
Welcome to this hour of wonder, of opening ourselves to the unexpected and to the power of transformation and change.
Welcome to this time of gratitude, of noticing the gifts of warm shelter, of freely moving in and out of this building, of being able to log in through a digital web.
Welcome to the possibility of awe, of spine-tingling reminders of how wondrously improbable it is to be alive, here, today, together on this day.
Whoever you are, we welcome the wonder of you as part of the vast, interconnected world to which we all belong.
I now invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we light our chalice and say together the words of our affirmation printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And please take a moment now to greet one another and waving to the camera to our friends online. Thank you. Thank you. spacious firmament on high.
Hello, my name is Fern Beck. I'm chair of the membership committee. It is my honor and joy to invite those joining the church today to please come forward now.
Welcome. In our tradition, the members of the local congregation hold the responsibility for guiding the direction of their church, electing their leaders, and choosing their minister. Today, we welcome into membership 6 new people, including a couple who could not be here today. I was going to invite you to say your names, and then I have no mic. So when you sign your book in a minute, I'll have you say your name. So, and now I invite all current members to please rise in body or in spirit as we say together the words of the new member ceremony printed in your order of service. We welcome you into the life of this community where we affirm love as the spirit of this church, and service as its law. We welcome your participation, ideas, and hopes for our congregation. May your spirit and commitment strengthen us as we travel together in mutual love and respect, each to other to the best of our abilities. May we all sustain by individual and collective works our shared values of compassion, justice, and love. May we reflect this greater love in our words and deeds. You may be seated. Since 1630, those wishing to join the church have signed their name to a list of members. And since 1999, a copper strip with the name of each member has been added to the grooves in the concrete walls. Today, copper strips of the new members are in place for each of you, they're over there, I believe, for each of you to finish pushing in. So you'll install yourself into the wall with the help of Margaret Shepard, our calligrapher, who does all of those strips for us. Finally, as a symbol of commitment to help nurture the life and growth of this community, I offer you each a plant. They're all different, so you can pick the one that speaks to you, to remember this day on Earth Day weekend that you joined the church. I invite you now to sign your name to the book of members, and as you do, if you can just say your name. Right there, Tom.
Tom Savage.
Linda Savage. Katie Beck.
Robert Schweigner.
And Emily Ottinger and Ryan Toom, who many of you know as the people who bike here, even in the rain and the snow, weren't able to be here today, but they'll be signing later this week. Thank you, and let's offer a warm round of applause of welcome. So when I was given a plant when I joined a church, I love the imagery of that it's something alive, right? Because this is a living relationship. But don't take the symbolism too far if you happen to kill the plant. It's okay, I killed mine. So thank you and welcome again. And now for the choir. I love that piece, just so beautiful, hanging in the air. Thank you. As we prepare for a time of prayer, I invite you to take a deep breath in and out, and another in and out. Breathing deeply, we connect ourselves through the inhale of oxygen to a vast network of life, of people and plants, of stardust and dinosaurs, whose atoms remain strewn through the universe. Humbly we bow our heads, we close our eyes, we feel our feet upon the floor, imagining the soil, the rock, the streams of water, the pools of lava somewhere there beneath our feet. Humbly we acknowledge we are but one small life upon this vast planet, whose existence reaches back to a time we cannot comprehend, and whose future remains an evolving mystery. Amidst all the distractions of each day, may we remain open to extraordinary encounters that elicit a wow, to the tingles on our skin in the face of unexpected beauty, to the tears that fall as we witness acts of generous kindness. May we welcome the experience of awe in our lives, reminding ourselves again and again of our small place within an interconnected universe. We pray for all those who may feel alone and not connected, those who are imprisoned, cut off from family, friends, and freedoms, those who are sick or injured and struggling with pain and an unknown recovery, as well as those in Gaza, Ukraine, and other places rife with war and violence. We pray that all people may find some sense of connection to life-giving sources of love and peace, liberation and justice. And may we all remain in the struggle for a more just world of liberatory love for all beings. Entering now into a moment of stillness, let us rest in our memories of wonder and awe. On this Sunday before Earth Day, it seemed fitting that our offering today would be given away to an organization that has long been doing what it can to encourage you youths to engage with the work of protecting the planet and creating a more sustainable future. So our offering today goes to the UU Ministry for the Earth. It has been around since 1989, although apparently it's changed names a couple times. But it's UU Ministry for the Earth, and they are the leading UU organization in encouraging congregations and individuals to engage in the work of climate justice. If you go to their website, you will notice their leadership includes former First Church intern Daniel Lawler, and our incoming intern next August, Lindsay Donnelly Bullington has also been involved with the UU Ministry for the Earth. So I hope that you will be able to give generously as you are able, either in the plate or there's a QR code and a text number, I believe, in the order of service and online for you to give as you are able. Thank you very much.
The reading this morning comes from the beginning of Dandelion Wine, a coming-of-age novel by Ray Bradbury. I was not familiar with this, but maybe some of you are. 12-year-old Douglas has set out on an early summer day to pick berries with his father, his grandfather, and his brother Tom. Since waking that day, Douglas has felt as if there is a great thing hovering nearby. He is not sure what this thing is and whether it is malicious or kind, and the reading starts here. "Got a snowflake in a matchbox," said Tom, smiling at the wine glove on his hand. "Shut up," Douglas wanted to yell, but no, the yell would scare the echoes and run the thing away. And wait, the more Tom talked, the closer the great thing came. It wasn't scared of Tom. Tom drew it with his breath. Tom was part of it. "Yes, sir," mused Tom, picking grapes. "I'm the only guy in all Illinois who's got a snowflake in summer. Precious as diamonds, by gosh. Tomorrow I'll open it. Doug, you can look too." Any other day, Douglas might have snorted, struck out, denied it all. But now, with the great thing rushing near, falling down in the clear air above him, he could only nod, eyes shut. Tom, puzzled, stopped picking berries and turned to stare over at his brother. Douglas, hunched over, was an ideal target. Tom leaped, yelling, landed. They fell, thrashed, and rolled. No, Douglas squeezed his mind shut. No, but suddenly, yes, it's all right. Yes, the tangle, the contact of bodies, the falling tumble had not scared off the tidal sea that crashed now, flooding and washing them along the shore of grass deep through the forest. Knuckles struck his mouth. He tasted rusty, warm blood, grabbed Tom hard, held him tight, and so in silence they lay, hearts churching, nostrils hissing, and at last, slowly afraid he would find nothing, Douglas opened one eye. And everything, absolutely everything was there. The world, like a great iris of an even more gigantic eye, which has also just opened and stretched out to encompass everything, stared back at him. And he knew what it was that had leaped upon him to stay and would not run away now. "I'm alive," he thought.
This is my copy of Ray Bradbury's Dandelion Wine, a bit rugged from the years. I first read it sometime early in high school. I know I wasn't driving yet because I remember walking to the bus stop and noticing the yellow-green of budding trees, splashes of color from emerging flowers, and white wisps of clouds in a breath of blue sky. "I'm alive," I'd say to myself. "I'm alive." Have you whispered this to yourself? Perhaps dipping your toes in the cold Atlantic as ocean waves spread to the horizon before you. Or maybe you've marveled at the life of another, the newborn infant with impossibly small fingernails, the elderly aunt whose eyes still sparkle within a face textured by lines of innumerable joys and sorrows. Our lives are peppered with experiences of awe, if only we stop to notice. According to psychology professor Dr. Keltner, awe is the, quote, feeling of being in the presence of something vast that transcends your understanding of the world. The feeling of being in the presence of something vast that transcends your understanding of the world. Awe is the experience of feeling small before that larger thing. While awe does have some linkages to a sense of fear, today more experiences of awe are felt as a sense of connection that fosters well-being. As we absorb the vista that takes away our breath, witness the generosity of spirit that brings tears to our eyes, or encounter the soul-piercing beauty of a piece of art or music, then our nagging, self-critical, status-seeking inner voice grows small. We are pulled beyond the edges of our ego into a wider, deeper place that shifts our perspective, changing how we act. In one research study, Keltner and an associate surrounded participants either with awe-inspiring plants or less inspiring ones. As participants left the lab of plants, they were asked to take the time to make origami cranes for victims of the 2011 tsunami in Japan. Those who had been surrounded by the awe-inspiring plants gave more time. As Keltner summarizes, the last pillar of the default self, striving for competitive advantage, registered in a stinginess towards giving away possessions and time, crumbles before awe. Awe awakens the better angels of our nature. Encounters with awe widen our world, sharpening our sense of connection beyond ourself, motivating action on behalf of others. And yet, when was the last time you felt awe? When did you last find yourself blurting out, "Wow," or slowing your pace, goose flesh rising, as you exclaimed, "Wow," or "Oh"? In other words, have you noticed it's spring? Have you moved beneath the boughs of limbs loaded with magnolia blooms, or this week I think it's cherry trees? Have you spotted a forsythia bush glowing golden in a sunbeam? Did you pause before a waving row of daffodils now that they have burst forth from their winter rest below ground? All around us here in the city, nature is declaring itself in wonder, if only we would notice. Beyond the city and parks, vast landscapes of wild beauty exist across the nation. On a cross-country trip in 2022, I chose to turn off the interstate in search of a place I had heard about in various news reports: Malheur Lake on the high plain of southeastern Oregon. Since 1908, the lake has been a wildlife refuge, renowned among birders as a stopping place for migrating birds. The road to the refuge was remarkably straight and the land quite flat, as you might expect in an area of high plain. But suddenly, a massive landmass seemed to rise up, straight up in front of me. Indeed, as I drove nearer, the road simply turned left to climb up the butte at a significant angle, only to cross over the flat top before descending on the other side and then continuing on again as a flat, straight road. In less than 20 minutes, I had suddenly experienced something beyond my understanding of the world that had me leaning forward, eyes wide, and muttering, "What? Really? Wow." And yet, people live next door all year round. I wonder if they cease to feel awe as they climb the road that left me gaping. Every day we have choices about where we do and do not put our attention. And if I'm honest, this was a tough week to find the time to revel in experiences of awe. There is a lot going on at church with next week's installation, the annual Canvas Appeal, and the men's lectures, and I hope you will stay for the panel after the service. And of course, beyond the church, the city and Commonwealth continue to face a billion-dollar challenge of supporting migrants and so many others in need of housing. And nationally, just this week included a former president sitting for a criminal trial and a university president calling on police to stifle student protests on campus. Then just yesterday, the House passed a long-delayed bill of support for Ukraine and Israel as wars rage and Gaza continues to face a collapse of systems to simply survive. Amidst all of this, to what are you paying attention? Maybe you've been delighting in a visit from a friend or grandchild and given little attention elsewhere. Or maybe none of the news stories even matter to you because someone dear to you is in the hospital, in jail, or newly devastated by hard news. We are all navigating our days with competing demands for our attention just to make it through. And now we're told to also cultivate experiences of awe as if we have time for that. Motivated to find the words to share with you today, I spent my week vacillating between feeling too busy for awe and deliberately seeking awe so I would have something to say. When I read an article in the Globe about a museum in downtown Crossing designed around experiences of wonder, I bought a ticket. Squeezing in an hour between two events, I moved through the exhibits with curiosity, but felt no real shivers or goosebumps, scientific signals of awe. Instead, I found the biggest sense of wonder in watching the crowd of people of different ages, from a little 2-year-old to grandparents, different ages, different skin tones, languages, and style, as they interacted with each other and the exhibits. Returning outside into the late afternoon sun, walking through the Boston Common and the Public Garden reinforced that sense of wonder. The awe of living in a time and space with such a diversity of people, each seeking their own experiences of wonder, all carrying their own stories of struggle and longing. To what are we paying attention? And here we are on the day before Earth Day. Begun in 1970, Earth Day beckons us to pay attention to the earth. Its beauty and wonder, yes, but also at the enormous challenges facing a warmed earth with a changing climate. Indeed, for my entire life, environmentalists have been asking us on Earth Day to act in sustainable relationship with the earth, to resist ongoing plunder that ignores the harm being wrought to the ecosystems of water, land, and air. Are we paying enough attention to their call? In a world with information, so much information, able to overwhelm us many times over, I know we cannot simply pay attention to all of it. But neither do I believe we can ethically ignore the very real struggles and pain that surround us. We have to do something. So one thing we can do is gather to be reminded of what matters. We can seek ways to regain perspective on our relationship to others and the planet that sustains us. We can choose awe, choose encounters with a vastness beyond our understandings of the world. In his book on the science of awe, Keltner writes, quote, "It also merits considering what was not mentioned in stories of awe around the world. Money didn't figure into awe, except in a couple of instances in which people had been cheated out of life savings. No one mentioned their laptop, Facebook, Apple Watch, or smartphone. Nor did anyone mention consumer purchases like their new Nikes, Tesla, Gucci bag, or Montblanc pen. Awe occurs in a realm separate from the mundane world of materialism, money, acquisition, and status signaling, a realm beyond the profane that many call the sacred." End quote. Church is a place for cultivating awe, for reconnecting with something larger. Here we are reminded of a sacred realm. We are readied to act for others in compassionate care and in seeking justice. Each of us shows up today aware that in some sense being here matters. This church continues to exist not because of its history, but because we remain relevant to what people need today. In a world beset with climate crisis, multiple wars, political divisiveness, and all manner of historic and ongoing injustices, it is no small thing to choose to pay attention to a larger, more inclusive viewpoint. It is no small thing to seek out experiences of awe that shrink our egos and cultivate a sense of humility, curiosity, and openness to others. Showing up here, committing to this church, is a choice to pay attention to something vast that transcends your understanding of the world. It is to ready ourselves to act in ways that benefit others and not just ourselves, including the earth which sustains all life. We are each of us alive, and this is a wondrous, awesome thing. Like the young protagonist in Dandelion Wine, we can all pay attention to the mysterious thing of life that waits to break through in moments of awe. May we seek out such moments, welcoming the transformation they bring as we remain curious, open, and ready to act on behalf of others. So may it be. Amen. And I invite you to join me in singing hymn number 163, "For the Earth Forever Turning." Please rise in body or in spirit as we sing together. on awe names 8 wonders of the world. I think number 2 is the earth, but also high on that list is music. And as I mentioned in the sermon, goose flesh, okay, this is going to be a long little introduction, I know, but goose flesh comes from an ancient need when you're cold to huddle. And so it's a trigger to your body for your little hairs to stand up because you're cold, and then to huddle. So goose flesh is a reminder to connect with others. And I love that because that is one of those hymns that always gives me the goose flesh, you know. So thank you for singing that song. I hope it moved you also. And when you feel that awe, that goose flesh, that shiver up your spine, it's a clue to feel connected to earth and to each other. So let's extinguish the chalice before I give the benediction. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And as a part of one interdependent earth, may we love with abundance, welcome across difference, and work together to support a just, equitable, and sustainable life for all. Amen.